Hello, friend. When I started initially working with Django, I really enjoyed one thing, that is Django having the feature of object oriented paradigm. But those who are new to OOPS concept, they may come across some issue working with the object oriented characteristics of Django. And a very good portion of OOPS has been very strongly implemented in Django in the form of CBV, and that is called class based view. This is something which is purely based on object oriented feature of like any programming language. Here you come across class, object, very strongly inheritance implemented, the concept of abstract class, the concept of super, and all the features that every OOPS language makes use of. So in context to CBV, since I felt like people might not be so comfortable, so I decided to create few videos explicitly working on CBV from the very zero level so that you have a good understanding. And keeping that in view, what I will be doing is, let me open my browser, and here, well, my terminal is already working, and as you can see over here, this is my localhost colon port 80. So let me type over here localhost colon port 80. I hit the enter, and as I do that, my application comes to the very beginning, and here is where I'm working, right? So in this particular video, what I will be doing, oh, here I'm seeing that the title of my program, I didn't change it, no issue. Let me come to the code part and let's do a little bit of modification to the view so that it doesn't show those messages. So let me paste it over here, Python, oh, this is Django CBV. Yes, this is the title which I would love to. Let me copy it and let me change it over here. There are three templates are there and success also. Yes, now if I refresh my page, and I won't be seeing those those wrong title, and here it goes. Yes, now it is absolutely fine. So this is like a home page, and I have mentioned over here Django class based view, CBV, and there are two links are there. Well, by the way, I am showing it from my local system, right? But hey, I have got my own domain. So don't you think these things are there in my domain? Well, let me show you even that also. CBV, class base view. And it is in front of you. This is the live URL of the application which you are seeing at my local terminal. So both is available. So those who will be working on CBV, you can just test how CBV work using this particular URL, swaroopapp.in/Django-CBV. Okay, let me show you what this is all about, and here comes my code. The code is also in front of you, and I will be explaining all the things. Let me close all the tabs so that I can start from the scratch. Well, my app name is one_basic because it's a very basic implementation of CBV. I have gone for it. That's the reason I've given the name of my application one basic. And I've created one app called my app, and inside the settings the configuration has been done, and I have got a template folder where I've created one more folder by the name called my app, and it contains 3 HTML pages. But let's start the journey from my project directory. So one_basic, let's come to the urls.py, and here if you look, nothing extraordinary I've done. I've just given a call to the application, to the app. So include my app and .url. So here is the urls.py file of the my app. It comes right from here, right? Now let me show you something which is the main agenda of this particular video. Well, I will be covering up like I showed you already, these are the things which we will be covering up, but one after the other. In today's program, I will be covering up something called FormView. I will be covering up create view. These two things will be there, and detailed view is also there. So in the coming videos also, rest of the generic view like update view, delete view, these are all going to be visible in front of you guys. Okay, and this link will also keep on upgrading. Currently this link consists of only 2 routes, but slowly and steadily this route will increase, and as I keep on adding new files over here. Okay, So let's move on. So what I'm doing is that when I will be hitting the, like when I have given this endpoint, like Swaroop app slash Django hyphen CBV or even localhost clone 8000, when I hit this, so what actually happened, it came to my project URL, and from there, since it's an empty route, it brings me to the app URL, and here I'm giving a call to this particular, what is this? This is something interesting, right? Usually you are accustomed with function based view. So over here we write functions which we define in the view.py file, and where we create our business logic, and that eventually calls the template. That's what we have been doing so far. But this is not function based view. This is not FBV, rather this is a class based view, CBV. And in context to class based view, the concept is very different. So let me open this class called success view. This is the class which I have created. Like over here, if you can see in the current working directory, in this current folder, my app, I have a file called view.py. So it's talking about this, where I have created my own custom view. So my form view, profile, success view, user profile, create view, these are all classes that I have created, and these classes would be inheriting the generic Django class based views. Okay, so let's start with the very first one, success view. So let's click over here. As I do that, that brings open the view.py file. I mean, this particular file got open, and if you look over here, I have got 4 classes, and that's the reason why you saw 4 class that have been called over here. So you were importing all these 4 classes, so that is right in front of you. So what is this particular class going to do? As I showed in the image, that there is something called, well, over here template view is not there, but yes, there is something called template view. So let me select this, and this template view is coming from Django.view.generics. This is what I said. This is the class based view, or to be more specific, generic class based view. Okay, so the package goes is Django.view.generic. Over there, these are all system defined classes that Django provide. So right now working on template view. So let me cut it from here and put it at the front, because that's the sequence. So I'm going to work on the, I'm working on the template view. So that means this particular class I have created, it is inheriting the template view. Yes, you rightly heard, it is inheriting the template view, because I already said at the very beginning that the reason why I loved Django class based view is because it's purely object oriented programming, paradigm based. So here you were seeing that this is the derived class and this is a base class. So the derived class is inheriting the fundamental features of the base class. So template view is a base class that belongs to Django view.generic, and from this base class what we are getting, well, what we are getting is an attribute called template underscore name. So this is a system defined attribute. Okay, let me tell you one thing. When you're working on Django class based view, there are a lot of attributes and different lifecycle methods are there which you have to understand, and that is where the confusion initially pops up. So that's the reason I have tried my level best to break down the programs or the videos which I will be creating in such a way so that you don't have a problem in understanding how exactly the thing is going to flow. Okay, so for that reason I am going in a very sequential manner. So as you can see over here, this template underscore name, what is this? This is an attribute that is giving a call to a folder called my app, which is present inside the template directory. As you can see right over here, inside that I have a folder called my app, and inside that I have a HTML page called success. Oh, sorry, I have a HTML page called success underscore HTML, and that is what I'm invoking. So success underscore HTML is this particular file. So let me open this file, and here is what you see. This is the HTML page which you are seeing. In fact, this is the same HTML page which is right in front of you guys, running from the local server, and this is presently running in the live domain. So this is the content of this is what you are seeing exactly right over here. And let me tell you one more thing, that how did I come down to this? When you are calling this in the url.py file, look here, I've given the name of the class, and I have to call a particular special function called as underscore view. Now why is this function written? Well, in urls.py, in the urls.py, inside the path function, Django expect that you will be calling a function that will be responsible for rendering your template. I repeat, in the path function, Django expects that you will be calling a function that will render the template, but actually that what not you are doing. Rather, you're giving a call to the class, and since you're giving a call to the class, so naturally Django will be confused. To make Django understand that inside this class, or this class need to be converted to a or the business logic you will be writing inside this class, which will eventually create a template. That's the reason you have to give a call to this particular function called as_view brace close. Make yourself habituated with this particular function call, because whenever you're working on Django CB class based view, you have to call this particular function repeatedly, then only the class will be working as a template. So once you have written this, then by default the view will be executed, and here since I'm inheriting the template view, so what happened by default is Django will give a call to this particular attribute, and eventually it will navigate to this particular path, and thereafter the content is in front of you right now. Here is what you are seeing. And moreover, one more thing I would like to tell you, that I have made use of a package called Crispy Form. Okay, Crispy Form, Django Crispy Form. You can install this package. It is like pip installed crispy, pip installed Django Crispy Form. You can download this and you can work on this Django Crispy Form. Okay, this is what I have installed, and that's the reason you are able to see this particular template tag over here to load the Crispy Form tag. Because I have to render a few important things coming from the backend, which I will be showing you. And not only that, few more interesting things waiting ahead. And over here I have given a call to this routes. Like over here I have given the name to the routes. So this is this particular route name is called success, and while apart from this, the this following route, see, create user by form or create user by model, they have got the names explicitly like FormView or create view. This is the name I have chosen, so that's what I'm giving the name over FormView and create view. So when you will be clicking on this hyperlink, which I will do right now only, so that will give a call to the form view. In this video I will be talking about form view. In the next video I'll be talking about the create view, although both the things are active right now, you can check it out. So once you are clicking on this, and since we are working on Django, so you just cannot write a hyperlink only. Along with that, you have to go for template tag. So for that reason you have to write URL, and within which you have to write the name of the route, and the name of the route is called form view. So the moment I will click on this, the control will directly come over here, and it will load this particular class based view. Remember again, see, once I click over here, in the URL I will be seeing that create user by form, that will come over here. So let me go and click over here. As I do that, you will see that create user by form, this following route gets called over here, and then this particular segment get executed. But whereas when we work on the live URL, you will find slight different, because over here I have to add a path Django-CBV, which was not required in the local host. So when I click over here, this path will be there, and along with that the create user by form will be added. So that's how the configuration need to be taken. Okay, nonetheless both the working concepts are same. So let's come back to the code. So what we have done over again, the same logic. Since you are working on the class based view, you need to make use of as view so that this get converted into a template. So now let's come over here, and let's come over here. So now we are working on this particular class, and again over here, see that this is the class name, which is the derived class defined by me, which is giving a class call to the base class form view, which is coming from the Django view generic. So this form view is present inside the Django view generic package, and it is the inheritance that is taking place. So my form view, which is a derived class, is inheriting the form view class. Now here you need to be very, very careful. As I said, in my next video I'll be talking about the create view, the detail view, all this. Detail view I will talk in this particular video only. Create view I will talk in the next video. So there will be a direct difference. In many interviews this question can come up as how form view and create view differs. So you need to understand this concept very well, and for that reason the next video is also equally important. So let's talk about this particular class right now. So when you're giving a call to the form view, what will happen again, here also you have got a template tag like what you had, the template_name, a similar attribute is over here, and this time you're giving a call to another HTML page called form.html. So I will open that page right over here. So this is a form.html that is getting called, and now something very interesting will going to happen. Please be very careful right now. Now I have created one more class called user profile underscore form. Yes, here in the app I have a file called forms.py where I have added few important things which you need to understand very thoroughly, because this is not just a video of class based view only. Rather, in this video I will be working on the database part as well. And like in my previous database I used to work on Postgres, but since I'm focusing explicitly on class based view, so for that reason, for making it easy for you to understand and not to get into too much complexities, I have gone for the default SQLite. That's what I will be using. So that means the data which you will be filling over here, do I mean to say that this data will store inside the database? Absolutely, and that's what you will be seeing. So let me show you first is that this is my working directory where my class based view program is, and here I, like every Django application comes with the default database SQLite. So if I right click, if you go with open database for SQLite by default, let me open the DB browser, and here it is, and let me come to the browse data, and here, well, these are the different these are different tables that will be getting implemented the moment you fire python manage.py make migration and followed by migrate. These things will get open, except this particular table that is called user profile, which I have created. Yes, you rightly heard, this particular table I have created. Don't worry, I will be showing you right now. And this profile, user profile, let's come to the browse data. Let's choose the table called user profile, and let's see there is any data over here right now or not. No, right now there's no data. Since I wanted to show you in front of you guys, that's the reason the data I have deleted them. Okay. Now let's come back over here once again. So as I was talking, there is a particular file that is called forms.py. I need to open this file as well, and at the same time I need to open one more file that is called models.py, because I have to work on database. So subsequently, let me make you understand now how the thing is going to work. So first let's come to the model.py. What I have done is that I've taken three attributes. I've created three attribute for my model. I give the class name as user profile. You can choose whatever class name you feel like. Again, this class is inheriting from Django.db models.model. That's what it is inheriting. Now, when you inherit from model, what benefit do you get? Just a second. Okay, so when you're inheriting this, you will be getting these particular data types like models.char field, model.integer field, models.email field. And that's the reason why in this particular video I try to touch some segment of the database as well, because at the end of the day, why are we learning class based view? The reason we are learning class based view, because we have to work on the CRUD operation of Django, and that's the reason why CBV is so equally important, because that's how the class based view are usually used. So once you inherit this particular derived class, you will be getting these attributes: char field, integer field, and email field, which I have used. And as you can see over here, the length attributes are all given. In fact, in this particular program, a lot of features I have added, and that's the reason I'm saying many more I will be mainly making few videos, then only this thing will be more clear. So this is my model file, you remember, and this model will be very useful for creating the form. Now let's come to the form.py. What we have done over here, inside the view.py, you saw that I'm giving there is an attribute called form_class, and which is giving a call to this particular class which is present inside the forms file. So .form, import this. So what is this all about? Let me come over here and let me show you this. And as I click over here, something very interesting will say. And before that, don't get shocked with so much amount of code. It's not like that. I will explain you one by one. You will understand everything very clearly. Let me close all this thing to make it very small, and so that you can figure out the gist of this. Well, if you look over here, that user, this is the class name which I have given, and this is inheriting from Django.form. This is quite interesting. See, this is the class which I have created right now, and this is the class I will be talking about in the next video. But if you look at the inheritance part, here it is inheriting from forms.Form, and this is inheriting from forms.modelForm. But both are coming right from Django forms. So inside Django form, there are two types of forms you can say. So one is only form, the other one is model form. Now why this is so, and for that reason this video is so important. Well, if you want to work on just a basic functionalities, or if you want to do something which is not related with database operation, in that case you would be inheriting form. I repeat, if you want to perform some operation which you want to make use of Django class based view, but you didn't want to operate on database, okay, then in that case you will be using .form. But if you want to go directly with database, then you need to use model form. But it doesn't mean that if you're using form you won't be able to work on database. It doesn't mean that. You can, and in fact I have also made use of database over here, but primarily Django has kept these two things separate, that because if you're working on form, the flexibility which you will be getting in case of model form, that won't be there. But if you do some modification, some append, then the thing will also work with database at the same time. So let me show you what this is going to do. So when this particular class has been called by your view, here what it is doing, when I'm calling this, Django would do something very interesting. These are the three attributes which you saw in my model as well. Let me open the model file. Here it is. See, name, age and email, and these things I've written over here once again. But the reason why I did that, that's something which you will understand very soon. Now over here, look, I have given a call to three different functions where the prefix is clean. This is the standard norm of doing so. Clean followed by the attribute name. That means suppose if I want to do certain validations in context to a particular attribute, then you can do that. Just you need to, by convention, you need to write clean followed by attribute name. So this is related with the name of this, and age is this one, and email is this one. So let me expand this and show what is this. Well, whatever input I will be giving inside the HTML template, that will come right over here, and I want to ensure that it should be only alphabet. If it is any numeric, then this exception would get generated by the validation error. This is one condition I'm doing. The same way, I want to restrict the length of the name to be exactly maximum 5 characters. If I give anything beyond that, it will show this particular message, because since I'm making this URL live, which I have shown you over here, this is a live URL, so naturally many things can happen. So for that reason I've gone for a limitation. So this is the way you can apply different constraints to these attributes. In the same way I've gone for age also. The age should not be less than 18, or age should not be above 50. Then these are the constraints which you will be firing. And email also I've made some constraint that it will first pick up the email, and then it will check whether the email is ending with only Gmail or not. If it is not ending with Gmail, then it will give a validation error. And I've given a maximum length to the email name also, since my page is in public domain. So I, just as a prevention, I have placed a constraint over here that email length should not exceed 13. Well, that's not really in real life, but just for the sake of understanding, I have mentioned that. Along with that, I've also implemented a database operation where I'm checking that if the input which I'm giving, the email which I'm giving, if that is already there in the database, in the SQLite, if it is already there, then this will not be accepted. It will fire the message called email is already used. So you can see that with the help of user form, you can perform a wide range of different type of validation, verification before you save the data in the database. Well, I said to save the data in the database, right? But am I performing database operation over here? Well, until now what you saw from this, it's no, you're not performing the database operation, but that does not mean you can't. Well, you can, because after fulfilling all this criteria, the response will come back to view.py file. And here is something very interesting. Now, please be very careful. Already I've mentioned this is the template that will get open, that is a form. This is the form template that will get open, number one. And here is my form file that is present, form.py file. Now, you will be amazed to listen that these two functions which is present inside this class will not get executed immediately. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, when this particular route will be called, when the control will come over here, after executing these two attributes, the HTML page will get open. These two functions will not, I mean these two methods, since I work in the class, so better to call it as a method. These two methods will not be invoked initially unless and until user submits the form. So I mean, there is a form, HTML form. Yes, there is a HTML form. So let's see where is the HTML form. So let's come to the form.html. So here it is, and you will be looking, where is the text box? Where is the text box? Well, I can't see any text box. Exactly, you won't be able to see any text box. That's the beauty of Django class-based views. You won't be able to see any text box. Rather, these text boxes are getting generated randomly. So that means these text boxes are coming by default, me not doing anything. Absolutely, as you see over here, they are not getting generated by the user, by the programmer. Rather, they are getting generated on the fly, and this is all happening because of this form. That means the moment you have given a call to this view, the form class, based on this form class, based on this form, whatever attribute there were, name, email and age, dynamically these attributes are created, this text box getting created. If I want to show you, come to the inspect, and let's see over here, you will find that by default these attribute names are all over here. So let me expand this. See, there is already a middleware token is there, and look over here, this is the first div tag that has a name, and the ID is also there, ID underscore. These are all happening dynamically by the class-based view. So you can well understand, see, age is there, and email is also there. So you can well understand how important, how valuable it is to understand these things. These are very important concepts. So this is happening dynamically, and for that reason, let me close that. Oh, just a second. Let me, here it got created. Yeah, just a second. Let me scroll up. So this is the template tag I'm giving. If I and that's the reason why I loaded Django crispy form, so that I get the bootstrap kind of flavor. Okay, and one more thing I would like to tell you, that crispy form, like if you install crispy form through pip install, you might come across some issue. If you are facing some problem, drop down, write your problem in the comment section. I will surely handle, because I initially was facing some issue with the latest crispy form, but finally there has to be some solution, and I resolved it, and the reason why you are seeing this particular crispy form in front of your eyes. So here is where the crispy form is getting created, crispy is coming, and because of that you are getting such a beautiful bootstrap form you are seeing. And not only that, one more thing, here I have to write another template tag which is responsible for the validation errors. I mean, the errors which you saw inside the form, these validation errors will all be shown. Can I say this? Of course you would be, and that's what I will be showing it. But just imagine, after the form gets created because of these two attributes, and then it is now in front of the user. So let me fill up the data, and I said that the maximum length would be something I mentioned, and there should not be numeric data. So let me fill this numeric data. Arbitrarily I'm choosing just to show you that whether it's going to work or not. And let me click on this. See, its value has to be less than the limit is getting created. Okay, so I'm just going for a value of suppose 30. And now what about these? Look over here, the name should contain only alphabet. That was the error which you saw in the validation part. Let me show you one more time. If I come to the form tag, and inside the form, if I expand the name, here I've written the name should contain only alphanumeric alphabets, right? So that's what you are seeing. So that means I can give my name. Yes, this is absolutely correct. And if I submit again the email, the name should not exceed 5 characters, and my name is 6 characters. Okay, so let's go with Raj. Yeah, this would be absolutely fine. As I click on this, these two error goes up, and we are left with the next error. And this is also coming from the email property. As you see over here, I mentioned the length of email should not be more than 13 characters. Right here I mentioned it should not be more than 13 characters. So let me reduce it down. So let me write only Raj. Let's hope that Raj will fit well. And as I click on that, yes, it got submitted, and the redirection has taken place successfully, and a new route has come over here. Well, already video has become so lengthy. Well, about the new route I will be talking in the next video, but before I wrap up this particular video, new route will lead me to this particular route, which I will be talking in the next video, because it already became too long. And one more thing I would like to show you before we wrap up. I said that how this is working. Once I click on the submit button, here is the place where the whole thing is working. So it took the input from the user, and while taking the input from the user, again, these are all system defined functions present in the Django class-based view. So you have to follow this convention, and that's the reason these names you have to remember well enough. So here I've given a call. See, this has got form. That means whatever input you have given, everything is there inside this form, because you're submitting the form. Remember, you're submitting the form in the HTML. When you're writing, you have written the form. This form is getting submitted. This form is getting posted, the form that post, it is picking up this data. So it is picking up this data and it is checking the name, it is checking the age, and it's checking email that it performed all the validation successfully. Then only this attribute has been shown over here, and in fact the print message also you will seeing this particular data. That's what I have been showing over here. Look, you have seen this information is also coming. I have gone for name and age. Email I didn't show, that email is not shown over here. And look over here, I've given a call to the what, to my model. Yeah, this was a model name user profile. So over here the model getting called, and with the help of this model user profile object.create, I can store the data even in the model as well, inside my SQLite table as well. I said already that if you are going for form view, it primarily not meant for performing database operation, because a separate create view is there, which is very easy to work on database operation, but still you can work on database, and in that case you have to use it like this way. But this, if you really want to work on database, the create view will come up with a better solution. That's what we'll see in the next video. And over here the database operation is getting created, and once I save the database, it will return the primary key, and that is getting stored inside this self object. And this would, and the return super.form validator means the data has been saved successfully and the database has been updated. And after updating this super, it will give a call to the get success underscore URL, and this eventually will call a route, and that's what we will be talking in the next video. Because if you look over here, this route is giving a call to self dot object, that what I'm passing over here, and this object is nothing but the primary key, and which you can see right over here. So this particular data is being saved in the SQLite. Let me show you that. Here is my SQLite. Let me refresh the SQLite table, and here it comes. Look, ID is 6. That means this 6 is what the ID, and that is getting returned, that has been returned over here. So when you are storing this data in the database, it is returning the ID inside this object, and that's what I'm fetching, and that's what I'm passing in the reverse route, which is there right over here. So in my next video we'll talk about this route, how this route is taking the data from the URL, because you can see this data is picked from the URL, and this particular another view is getting generated, which is again based on Python or Django class-based view. Okay, so this is how class-based view. Initially, I know it seems to be a bit complex, but if you visit this particular video again and again, if you try to follow this code again and again, and everything I will be showing from the scratch, which I already started showing from the each line I will be explaining, and I believe the thing will become much easier. So for that reason, I have given this particular project live in the URL, so that live in the cloud, so that you can check it out. Yes, of course, when you save the data the live cloud, you won't be able to get the Django view. I mean, you won't be able to view the database record right now, because I'm yet to come across this detailed the list view I will be using it, the update view I will be using it, then the data which you are saving in the SQLite, that will get populated right over here. So for the time being, if you see my profile tab, take it for granted that the data has been saved successfully. We trust that. Okay, so that's all from this particular video presentation. The next video I will be talking further more about the leftover views, and as I said, that this might sound a bit complex, but trust me, it is one of the best way you can ensure Django CRUD operation. Okay, that's all from this video presentation. Thank you. Bye bye.